Hey, hi, flipping neck. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the sound test stream. Tonight's live stream is all about samples. Since we've started recording audio samples and stuff, I've had to change up how I edit samples and things. So this is what this is about. But the very first thing I'm going to do is, if you are already a Patreon, here I have a folder full of binaural samples. This one is eight samples, and it was done around the supermarket yesterday. I've got it set to loop. Now these are binaural recordings that I did with my Roland binaural headset. So this is why they're going to be in something called binaural samples. And anytime I do any more binaural samples, they'll get added to this folder. So what I'm going to do immediately is transfer this binaural samples folder into the Patreon's reward folder. So if you're a patron, you should be able to grab this immediately. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I do that. So once a sample pack is completed, kind of working backwards here, but say, for instance, this sample pack here, this binaural samples, as this folder, subfolder in there called Supermarket, with those 8 binaural samples of me walking around Asda with Joe yesterday. And this one of a garden. And then this one of in the kitchen. So you can use those and add effects to them and stuff like this. So what we're going to do, first thing we're going to do this is super simple. Is we're just going to open the Files app here, go to AudioShare Files. I'm going to find, there it is, my binaural samples. I'm going to select them there, and I'm just going to pick Move, and I'm going to choose Dropbox. Oops, I'm going to choose Dropbox, and it'll load Dropbox in, and then I'll just go and find the Patreon rewards folder. So let's see. Where are we? And my eyes. Here we go. Patreon free stuff here. I'm going to open it. So here is the Patreon free stuff. I'm going to create a new folder now in here called binaural samples. So untitled folder, binaural samples. Okay, and I'm gonna select that folder, and I don't know what to do now. I've blinking lost my thing, haven't I? I'm gonna select this folder and go done. What's going on? Right, I'm going to have to pick them up again because I've made adjustments. Right, so I'll just go back to my AudioShare file, go to Select, Move, go to Dropbox, go to, where is it now? This is easier. Patreon. Patreon reward, Patreon free stuff, and then binaural samples, and then copy, and they're loading them into that folder now. Operation copy includes problem using Supermarket as the name. Try choosing a different name. That's weird. Right, okay. Let's have a look at that then anyway. So it's in there. So all those samples are in there. So if you're a Patreon, you can go and check that. They shall be in there now in the Patreon rewards folder, under that particular thing called binaural samples. If someone could do that during the course of the stream, maybe Stephen or something could check that just to see it's worked all right, that would be pretty cool. Anyway, here we go. So here is that. So that's a completed thing, binaural samples. That's now gone into the Patreon rewards folder. Now you'll see down here sample pack 1 and sample pack 2. They've already been edited, although the names all say Zoom. It doesn't matter. They're still in the rewards folder. Sample pack 3 for editing and sample pack 4 for editing are new, and they are not in the Patreon rewards folder. So we can start to do some editing. Now I've already done one called Birds Trimmed. So that's finished. I've got one that's got to go into Hokusai as well for further editing. But you'll show you how cool Hokusai is. But if we pick, say for instance, this one. Actually, that's right. This one maybe. So this one, I'm going to edit this one. The general edit I'm going to do is the binaural samples is there. Awesome. Awesome stuff. Thank you. Right. Okay. So here we go. We're going to go with tools here, and we're going to go with trim and fade. And I'm going to go to about here, and I'm going to see what that sounds like. So just okay, and I'm going to end it. I'm going to see what this bit sounds like. So this is the process for all the samples. Okay, so we don't need that bit at the end, but that was where Joe was closing the thing off. So we'll just go save. And now you'll see we'll have 2 number 12s. Now this is where you want to be keeping an eye on your samples. So we don't need number 12, this version here. We can get rid of that. We've got number 12 trimmed, and that's it. And I think what I'm also going to do is go to my trim and fade again, and I'm just going to take off that high point there and then go save, and you'll see we have trimmed again, so I can get rid of this first trimmed one. And then all I need to do is normalize this. Okay, so what it sounds like now. Okay, so maybe that's good on its own as a sample. Okay, so what I'm going to do is hit tools. I'm going to hit trim and fade. I'm just going to go to about there and hit save. Okay, now you'll see we've got 2 now, this one and this one. So this one is the one we've just done. So trimmed, and then should be somewhere else. 12, this one. Right, I'm going to do a bit further editing on this one, trim and fade. This is rough editing, so I'll use AUM just for rough editing. Okay, so we're going to save this, and we've got them here, and then I'm going to normalize it. Right, okay, and so this one I can definitely ditch. That can go into the trash. This one can go into the trash as well. And this one, which is our normalized one, I'm just going to rename that now as the finished product. And I'm just going to call it Scrape or Cardboard. I think it was Cardboard that Joe did. So rename this one as Cardboard Scraped. Okay, done. And this is what this one. So that's fine. So there's another kind of environmental sample. Right, so let's look at the ones what we were, the bigger versions of these two. So 12 trim, 12 normalized. We can definitely get to that one. Go to this one now and use tools. I'm going to trim and fade again to here. See what it sounds like. Okay, I'm going to save this. I'm going to go trimmed. So this first one here, we can now get rid of as well, so I don't need it. So this one, we can just call, I'm going to rename this one and call it Sounds Ripped. I mean, you don't really need to name them all if you don't want to. People can go through them and just sample them and see what they like and what they don't like stuff, you know. Anyway, click OK. Sounds Ripped. So this one. Okay, and then we've got some others that we named, Cardboard. All made from that same, there's one here called Rumble Engine. And on and on and on you go. Right, so let's look at this one for Hokusai. I'm going to play it. And there's some loud peaks. So I'm going to take this straight into Hokusai 2 Pro to edit it further. So we can do that now. So all we need to do is, I'm just going to open Hokusai. So open this now. I'm going to go plus a new project and I'm going to hit import. And I'm going to go to services, which will be the different services. I can go, oh, I'm already in AudioShare files. So now I can look for, where was it? In sample. I think it was in sample 3 for editing, right? So as long as you remember where it was, sample 3 for editing, I'm going to open this. And there it is, look, for Hokusai. So I'm going to tap on this and open it. Boink, and there it is. Now, this is the cool stuff you can do with Hokusai. It's really easy. So if we play it, we've got a big chunk of nothing here. We don't want. So if we tap here like this, you'll get this little other line and it'll say paste and insert. But if you drag the little handles here, see, and it'll also scrub sound. So if you drag the little handles to more or less that entire area of, that one's okay actually, that entire area of sounds, and just hit delete, what it'll do is it'll take that section out and draw them together. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap here, and this time I'm going to take out that first section and get it pretty close. We can zoom in, of course, as much as we like. I'm going to get it close to that section there. Okay. And I'm going to tap it and you'll see it says trim. Well, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to delete that as well. And it'll pull this one to the end like this. So now it starts. Okay. Now some parts of this are really quiet. I might like them a bit louder. So again, we can just select that section there. And you'll see it says more. There's a little section that says more. And this is Hokusai Pro. If you get the free version, you can download the free version and do some bits and pieces and stuff. It's cool. But if you get the Pro version, you get all these extra special effects. I mean, there's absolutely loads of them. And some of them are really, 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 really very cool. So I'm just going to pick this one where it says normalize. And it'll let me choose the normalizing level. And this is we can sample it here. See how it's, I'm going to have it louder than that. And I'm just going to hit done. And it's going to normalize that first section for me, but only the first section. If I select it now, just tap outside to get rid of it. And so we can go and normalize all these little bits and pieces that are outside our range where we split it here. So I'm going to tap here. I'm just going to quickly go in and normalize that one as well. So normalize. We've got gain compensation and compression, and we can reduce it as well. So we could go in and tap outside now. Okay, so now you see this section here, we've got this big spike here, which is preventing normalization of the whole thing properly. But we can get real close into here. And let's tap on this section. And we can do cool stuff like this. I mean, this is really tight editing now. And we can move this selection point around. So I'm just going to go here like this. And what I'm going to do is, I could delete it, right? Or I could just, well, I'm not going to trim it out. Let me see what I want to do with it. Do I want to delete it more? I could just insert silence as well. So we can fade it in, fade it out. And this is just referring to this selected portion we have here. We could normalize it, don't need to normalize it. We can insert silence if we want to. But we don't really want to do that, do we? So I will actually, what I'm going to do is, I am going to do this, and I'm just going to delete that section. And what it's done is it's pulled it together again. So now we have this more kind of defined part, and we can zoom right back in. So this should sound okay. Yeah, let's listen to this. Again, I think that these little pieces here could be normalized. So, and so much cool stuff you can do with Hokusai. I'm going to move my selection to here and normalize these. So normalize, done, and move my selection a bit further along. And actually I will extend that selection and more normalize it. This is great for doing things like music concrete and stuff like that. So now I am going to go all the way to the end here and get rid of that. I'll get rid of that whole section actually and just delete it. So it's trimmed that again. And now we have a much more kind of coherent and complete sample. Okay, so that's one of the things, that's some of the things you can do. You can also, now you can't apply AUV3 effects, but if you took this into Cubasis and chopped it up, you could. Right, so when we're done with this, we could go back here and go, and we know this is project 3, so I'm going to call this, I don't know, we'll call it crunchy. It sounds crunchy to me. I don't know what Joe was doing. I think it was something with the salt and pepper things. We'll just call it crunchy and hit enter. And now we can export. We go to our projects here and we can see, oh, crunchy is here. We can hold it like this and go share audio. And we could say, well, okay, let's go and look for more. Let's go and find AudioShare now. There it is, AudioShare. And what's it done? It's stuck it here at the bottom. Salt grinder, there you go. So this is a much more usable sample now, and then any further editing can be done as chopped it up. So what we need to do is get this back into sample pack 3 for editing. Excuse me. So all we need to do that is super simple. We just do this, select it. So highlight this in AudioShare, select it. And a little green box here says move. And it'll go, oh, well, where do you want to move it? Well, I'm going to go to the sample pack 3 for editing. And I'm just going to move item there. So it's gone from there and now it's back in our sample pack 3 for editing. You'll see it there. So it's crunchy. Okay, so the initial one was, I can't remember which it was now, but I'll soon find it, I guess. Sounds like it could be this one. That's the original, for the one that says for Hokusai. We can delete that now, trash, because we've got our properly edited one there as well. Okay, so let's do another. I'll have a drink of me drink. I'm thirsty. Okay, so let's see what this is. No, we've looked at that one. I want something I can edit. So here's some, actually I know there's some at the bottom here, I think. Oh, here we go. So here's a perfect example. I think it's Joe spraying some or using one of them squirty things. First of all, we will go to our tools and we will go trim and fade. So this is like your quick editing inside AUM, because it's easy to keep selecting different ones and editing them and just renaming them and deleting the wasted files. So for instance, if we wanted to have a look how closer here, if we hold on this drag bar here, you'll see we can get right close to the start of this and maybe right close to the end of it too. Okay, so now we'll just go save and it'll give us trimmed. So we can see it says zoom 11 trimmed. Let's go to our number 11, wherever it is here. There is 11 and we don't need that anymore. We can get rid of it. So zoom 11 trimmed. Now we can straight away normalize this. Okay, so now awesome. So now that's done. So okay, I'll just go window cleaner bottle. I'll call that window bottle. So that's fine. That's done. That's a done deal. I'm not going to do anything else with that neither, because I want to show you something else we can do with Hokusai that we require a different type of sample. So I was going to rename this now as I'll just call it window cleaner. Okay. Cool. So once all of these are done, by the way, these will get dropped into the Patreon samples folder as sample pack number 3, sample pack 3 for editing. This is how I'm keeping track of stuff. So let's see, what's this one? That's just a noise. That will be easy to do. Check it out. Normalize this. So there we go. That's trash. So that's done. That's a sample done, and we'll just call that, I don't know, noise, eh? We'll just call it. Oops, I've moved it to the trash. Let me go to trash. If you ever do this, by the way, it's easy to get it back. You just have to go and find it. So today, it's not there. Oh gosh. Today. Here we go. Is it this one? Is it? No. Oh, I'm not going to mess around with this now. I'll find it another time. I'm going to go back to. Shut up. I'm going to go back to the actual pack and find another one. So I can always find that again. So what's this? There's not a lot going on though. That one. That was some tins.
Mine.
Watson. Okay, this one. We'll take this one. So it's already been normalized, or it was a good enough recording anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this into Hokusai, and we're going to do some really cool stuff with it there. Okay, so we're really going to change it up. I need to do this. Hang on a sec. So again, I'm going to call this something Hokusai for edit 2. Okay, so it's just so I know where it is when I'm looking for it, and I can basically just open Hokusai, which is already there. We can just go with a plus project, import, and all the imported samples that you've already got in there will be here as well in your library sort of thing. We're going to go to AudioShare again. So I'm going to go to sample pack 3, and hopefully it was Hokusai for edit 2. I'm going to open that, and there it is. Now we can start off by definitely trimming this little bit off the beginning of the sample. So we'll just tap on it anywhere, and we can just drag to where we want to be, and then we'll just delete it and it'll pull it back for us. And it's great because you can do that anywhere within the sample. So there, this. So I'm going to tap on this here. I'm going to drag this to about there, and that to about there. And what I'm going to do is show you some cool stuff we can do. First of all, actually, we will do what I want to do first. So tap on it to open your menu at the top and hit more. This is so cool, right? We can go down and we can, like I said, we can limit it, we can normalize it, we can insert that blob as silence, we can boost the frequency, we can pitch bend it. Pitch bending is very cool. We can apply chaotic grain if your sample section is less than 10 seconds. We can employ a synthesizer. Well, if we do that, we can put it on another track. This is good for tuning stuff up. But we're gonna go with, let's go all the way down where it says loop here. And when you open anything in the Hokusai, has all this extra cool stuff you can do, and you can sample it here. So if I set this now to loop 4 times, right? In fact, I'm gonna set it to loop 6 times. Might loop it one more time actually. So it's going to loop 7 times. I'm gonna put done. And what that does, see what this does is it automatically loops it for you like this. So now we get this effect. I'm going to take it off the selection, and we can undo in Hokusai as well. So in this section, I'm going to select here. I'm going to go more. I'm just going to, or straight away, I'm just going to go, right, okay, I'm going to kind of just, let's see. We've got DC offset, and we can audition any of these effects as well, which is very cool. So let's do reverse. We'll just automatically reverse that section. Let's see what that sounds like, just for fun. Oh, sounds like a saw. Okay, so this little tiny section here, let's put that in there. Let's go and have a look at more bits we can do with this. Now let's first of all kind of have a look at the gain. So I'm going to increase the gain a little bit. For that tiny little bit. I could actually just, if I go back. I'm gonna compress it. I'm gonna maybe normalize it, but at a lesser amount. Okay, I'm just gonna hit done for that. It's cool. It's brought it more into line of what the other ones do. Okay, so let's also hit more now, and let's see what else we can do. So we can make click tracks. We don't want to do that. We can apply some resonance to it. Actually, resonance is quite nice in this. Or we can auto pan it. I might just auto pan the entire thing. That's cool. We've got some echo reversing. We can soften, loop, stereo, spatialize it, or we can time stretch it. Actually, I'm okay with the way that is. So let's move on, shall we? So definitely the end bit we don't need at all. So we can just get rid of, that. We can just delete it. Now, if you want to, right, say for instance, this is where Hokusai is really cool, right? It's very fine control editing. You can also now bring in another piece of audio if you want to complement this. Okay, so so let's, for instance, do this. Let's go, well, we could input, this is a new track. We could create a new track, or we can import audio. And we could go with services. And maybe we'll go with our cardboard scraped, maybe. And it'll add it in. It will add it in at the point of the cursor, okay? Don't worry, you can move this wherever you like. But if my cursor was there, it would have imported from there. So for instance, so if I delete that again and go import, and I'll go, where is it now? It's been brought in, cardboard scraped. It will import it at the point of this cursor. However, if you just want to put it somewhere else, if you move it, you can't move it like that, because all you're doing is creating space, right? You're creating a clip event. Hold it with two hands, tap it with two fingers, and drag down. God. What's it working now? There we go. Sorry. Double tap it to select it all. Hold two fingers and drag it down. Now you'll see it'll change like this. And now we can move it anywhere we like. So we could say, we could stick it at the end if we wanted to, and it'll say drop. And we could go drop, and it's done. And now that sample will come in at the end, and we can kind of lower the volume for that as well if it was a bit loud, which it obviously was. Oops, sorry, am I moving this around? Okay, so for instance, this time let's double tap it and select it. Let's copy it, and let's just go paste, and hang on a minute. Oh, here we go. So now we can start to do our normal kind of editing. So I tap it here, and we can just delete all that. And we can do the same with this as well. We can delete sections if we want, like this, and it'll just pull it back in. And now we'll have our section that will play with our scrapey cardboard. But we can also do things like this. We could go, right, okay, I'm gonna go more and import, and maybe import something like that in right now. It has imported it, trust me. What it needs to do is be the correct length for the clip. However, it doesn't really matter. It's just getting too complicated if I start doing all that. However, that's how you do it. Or you could put it into, like, for instance, another track. So you could go create, or import, say, whatever it was that was there, and it'll put it onto another track for us. We can do this. And we have tools for, I don't even know what that was actually, so. Some scissors. All right. Another cool thing you can do with, say for instance, we tap on our selection here and we go like this. We've got a selection going, say there to there. You can choose to select all of your sections inside of any amount of tracks you've got. So you're not limited just to having one track and then editing that. What we could do now is go, oh, we've got 3 sections. We'll tap on this. We'll go more, and we can go with maybe, let's see, some auto panning. So let's go with like auto pan now, and we have different options. We could go maybe. So if you're listening through headphones now, if we hit apply, we've auto panned those 3 parts, but only the parts that we had our selection applied to. Okay, so it's starting to sound a bit music concrete. It's cool. It's cool. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to make this shorter. So I'm going to select this bit here, and I'm just going to go delete. So it brings that end back in a little bit. And let's see. I'm going to apply some effects just to this one section here. So I'm going to go more and maybe listen to some, or we could do some, let's time stretching just on this bit. Actually, no, here's a cool thing. We're going to do, I know, listen to this. You'll like this, is cool. We're going to go with this here, so this little section here, I'm going to go in more. I'm going to go to my loop points again. Listen, you'll like this, it's great. Loop here. I'm going to have this loop. I'll leave it on 7, or I could put it on 8. I'll have it loop 8 times once I've applied it, but I'm now also going to switch that and keep time constant so it doesn't speed up, it keeps the tempo. But I'm also going to have it pitch bend up like this. This is such a cool effect, right? So we've done this. We've got pitch bend applied now. We've got it counting over what's it. We're going to hit done. What's it? But listen to what happened to the sound. So let's go from about here. I just think that's great. I think it's great that you can apply that kind of wild pitch bend, and you can do all sorts of stuff with modulation. Now, if you wanted to, if we put in like a section here, okay, and we go more, and we go to our, say, synthesizer section, we could apply a synthesizer tone, maybe we'll apply C, and we'll hit done. And then we can make that quieter, obviously, so we'll go into more. Okay. So now if you've got another synth, if you've got something you want to tune up, right, you can apply that synth, but you can also do it with white noise, and you could have put it onto its completely own track as well. So here we've got a bit of looks like a bit too much of the old bit where it starts off there. So I'm just going to get rid of that. So I'm just going to go right, delete, it's done, gone. Okay, so what we've got options to do now, right? I'm not going to like go any further with this because it's getting on, and I quickly want to drop this into Cubasis to show you what I mean. But we've got our tools now, so we could go here, we can mix this down to one track, or we can just export the whole thing. We've got mix down, we'll select all three and go done, and it's mixed down to one track. Now what we'll do is hit this and we'll go share audio, okay, and we'll go save. I don't know if Cubasis is actually there. Is it here? We'll just run this into Cubasis 3. I'm not sure if this will actually have. Probably not. No, I know what to do. So we'll do it the other way. Save to files. Come on. Oh, Cubasis has appeared there now. I'm going to have to do this again, guys. Wait, not all of it, just the export part. I'm going to just do this. Share audio. And save to files. I'm gonna go like this on my iPad, Cubasis 3, push audio, and stick it in my samples. And I'm just going to actually stick it in my samples, okay, so it doesn't need to go into a subfolder. So there's that there. We'll go into here. And look at audio, look at my samples, and I guess it's this one. Yep, there it is. And we're just going to drag it in, convert. Yeah, I'll convert it, and there it is. There's our audio that we've just made inside of thingy. Now here's some cool stuff you can do with Cubasis that like is super cool. So we're just gonna duplicate this a couple of times. I'm gonna take certain sections. I'm gonna put the cursor maybe there, and I'm gonna just split the audio. I'm gonna put the cursor. I've got scrub switched on, by the way, so you can hear it. There. I'm gonna split the audio and put it there and the audio. So now we have these sections kind of thing that we can now start to manipulate. So for instance, we could say, well, let's delete this one from there, let's delete that one from there, let's maybe delete that one from there, let's delete this one from there, sorry, and let's delete that one from there, erase. And let's delete this one from here. Let's delete that one from there and this one from there. So we've still got the complete track, but now what we can do is kind of apply other effects to this. And you can do further editing, of course. So if I start to go nuts now and I'll go audio units, right, I'm going to stick, I don't even know how this will sound. So I'm going to stick Black Hole on this first track. I'm going to go on this second track, sorry, I'm going to go to this first track and I'm going to go, well, okay, well, maybe like something like, let's see, Police Delay. Who knows? And on the first one, this one, and then on this third one here, we can go to audio units and maybe put in, say, I don't know, crustacean. I keep thinking of crabs and things. Crustacean. Yeah, so look, we've got our three things now. There is the synth. So there's just some of the cool stuff you can do. Of course, we can start messing around now. We can say, right, okay, let's make sure we copy this one, paste it wherever. It seems to have wanted to paste it there. But then we could go in there and go, well, let's just reverse that one, shall we? And hopefully now, oh, and look, we can go in and like kind of normalize this one. Looks like it's gone a bit low. So now, and this is how you start to get into music concrete, which uses principles like looping, which we set up very easily in Hokusai. After doing initial editing AUM, so this is how you do it. This is how you build interesting experimental soundscapes. But it's really easy to do. You know what I mean? It's not rocket science. You need zero musicality to do stuff like this. You just need a little bit of imagination and the desire to kind of have a mess around with audio. So like we could just say, well, we'll copy on this one, copy and paste this one, and we can move this one there, or anywhere we like. We can stick it there. We can do further chopping. We can actually, if we want to, bring in other audio, of course. We could say like, well, I'm going to put in one of my ambient patches. Let's just have a listen. Right, this one. I could say I'm going to put this one in and have this as the anchor for the entire thing. So let's just do this. Let's go there and grab this piece of audio and stick it there. And now we have this piece of audio, which I can then just go, right, okay, I'm going to go to about there. And all I'm going to do is just copy and paste it. So copy, paste, and paste, and just have it fade out at the end. Hopefully that'll work. Let's see what we've got. Guys, thank you so much for joining me this evening, where we had to mess around with samples. Basically how me and Joe are doing the samples now is basically editing them inside. And someone did say also as well that the binaural samples, it did end up in the Patreon folder when I put them in at the beginning. So that's really great news. Apart from the glitchy thing that said it didn't, they did. I'm going to play this thing. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it inspires you to have a bit of a mess around and a bit of fun, just with sound. You know, this is what it's all about, isn't it? It's all about having a laugh and having a mess. I would seriously recommend you download Hokusai. You can download it for free. You still get tons and tons of the editing capabilities, touch editing, insertion, stuff like that. You can, I think the upgrade is about a tenner, I'm not sure, but it gives you all those extra features. It's really good fun. It's very relaxing sitting downstairs in the afternoon, editing samples inside AUM to be put into folders for Patreon. Anyway, bless you all. Hopefully I will see you all tomorrow. Ta-da! Yeah. AUM, Hokusai, and finally Cubasis, we didn't actually manage to get in here in the end. So they all work together. It's not about saying this one does this, this one does that. I can do everything in this. You'll be far more entertained yourself if you just use different things. See you later. Ta-ra.